And welcome back, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room with over 800, 300 beers to choose from at all their locations. Live music, trivia, entertainment at all their locations. And just great vibes if you ever want to just, torture yourself watching a Sabres game or partake in tomorrow's Bills game. I'm sure there's going to be it's obviously going to be on at every location, and I'm sure going to have some really good drink specials, without a doubt. So, and of course, Buffalo Logo Apparel. When it comes to your local design, shop local, buy small business. Buffalo Logo, second to none when it comes, especially their Bills merchandise, their shirts, their hats, their hoodies. They got it all over at Buffalo Logo Co. on Instagram and Twitter. You can find Fatty Beer at Fatty Beer on Instagram and Twitter, fattybeer.com. Buffalo Sabres, for the sixth time this season, have blown a game, blown a lead and lost. Sorry, let me rephrase this. I'm sick, guys. I'm still sick. For the sixth time,
take your time.
Yeah, for the sixth time this season, they have lost a game where they had a multi-goal lead. I mean, and I know Seattle has given us plenty of problems this season. Since they've come into the league. But you were leading 2-0. You had a dog shit second period, and you were lucky to escape out of that. With only, was it 2-2 going into the third, correct?
Yep.
2-2 going into the third. But you're starting the third period with a power play. So a good opportunity to, get yourself right back in the thick of it, turn it around. Maybe your power play looked really good there in the first period. Scored a goal on it. And then you give up immediately a 2-on-1 rush, shorthanded. And then proceed to give up four more goals, 6 total unanswered. Steve, I'm going to let you have the floor here and let you speak to it first. Everybody, producer Steve.
How's it going? Yeah, I've been stone cold sober for just shy of 6 years, but sometimes watching this team makes me think that was a fucking mistake. It's a Jenny NA for full disclosure. This was just a performance endemic of everything we've seen from this team this season, last season, the last decade and change. Came out soft, absolutely no urgency. And the team is just night and day. Just look at this week as a small sample size example. The game against the Capitals, they played sloppy, they played bad, but they worked hard enough to eke out the win. Thursday night, they go to Ottawa, they absolutely spank them, play a near perfect game for a full 60 minutes. And then today, for Kids Day, as tradition, they absolutely just fucking took a dump right on the ice. It's almost like they don't want the next generation of kids in this town to care about this franchise. And it's going to be hard to argue that, when these kids are old enough to spend their own money on games, they're going to spend them on something else because, for 14 years, this team has either been mediocre or irredeemably bad. And it's kind of hard to get kids inspired to want to come watch this team year in and year out if this is the product that, this is Sabres hockey. Just a complete lack of consistency, a complete lack of compete, a complete lack of basic discipline and common fucking sense. It's the games where they just played no frills, no bullshit, straight ahead north-south hockey. Those are the games they fucking win. And what did we see today? Bunch of no-look passes to fucking nobody, a bunch of Fruity Loops, Dipsy Doodles through the fucking Blues up over the team's blue line, and then they instantly lose the puck. I think somebody in the comments here noted 22 missed shots today. One single blocked shot in the box score for the Buffalo Sabres. You're not gonna win a game if you block one single shot from your opponents. It's hard to shit on them after putting up a shutout, but there were a couple goals tonight that were truly and fully on Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I try not to be critical, especially on a podcast run by goalies. I try not to be too critical of the goaltending, but there were a couple tonight, without a doubt, that you needed Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen to make the save there. Obviously, there were plenty that did the same thing where, I think it was that second goal by Bjorkstrand there, who was just standing completely alone in the crease that put it up 2-2 at the end of the second period. I think Byram was his guy, lost him, just left him completely alone. And, if you leave a professional athlete 5 feet away from the fucking crease with no tie up, no competition, and you give him the puck, yeah, he's probably going to be able to put it past you. It's not that hard, especially when you've been doing it since you're 4 years old. So yeah, this is kind of just a bingo card, just top to bottom, shitty fucking performance, completely uninspired. And it's hard to get worked up anymore. And I know I'm saying this after the last time I was on the show, it was after that Philadelphia loss where I completely lost my goddamn mind for the first 3 minutes. But I'm just running out of energy, we're in that mid-season stretch where it's how am I going to continue to try to pop blood vessels in my fucking brain watching this team do what they've been doing for pretty much my entire adult life? It's fucking baffling that it's been able to keep going as long as it has this way. It's insane. You're muted, my man.
There was this. I was coughing. That's why I muted myself. I didn't want to, stop on you there.
That's totally fine.
No. So from Mike Harrington, he tweeted this out 50 minutes ago, but it's still so true. Dylan Cousins said it 14 months ago. This team was soft, and the GM wasn't happy with him, and they're not anywhere near as soft physically as they were last year. But I don't think I've ever seen a Sabres team as mentally weak as this one. Zero mental toughness. It's shocking. Yeah. 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 I don't even know. It's so bad. And excuse me. I'm trying to preserve myself here so I don't, sit here and lose my voice due to the flu and getting too overworked here. And I just finally broke my fever yesterday, or if that's the right way you're supposed to say it. But yeah, Steve, Capo Caco scored twice. Remember that guy was available?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember when that guy was available?
Yeah, he just got traded for a third, a sixth, and Will Morgan, who we gave up for nothing in the expansion draft. But 3 years ago, during the Jack Eichel talks, he was an untouchable.
Yeah.
Funny how shit turns around, eh?
It's actually. Hold on, I'm looking at his numbers this season.
They're
21 points in 40 games and a +8. 7 goals. This is before tonight or today. So he's got, unless he has any assists, he's got
just had 2 goals.
He just had 2 goals. So he's 9 goals, 14 assists for 23 points in 41 games. I mean, that'd be the best player in your bottom 6.
Yeah,
that's the best player in your bottom 6.
No, yeah, you're not wrong. That would,
Yeah. And I'm not sitting here saying, that, they were wrong for not getting Capo Caco. It's just one player out of a number of players that they've passed up on or chosen their current roster over fill in the blank because they think, and we quote, the solution is in this room, according to Terry Pegula. We do know for a fact. Yeah.
This fucking room?
Which room? Is there a
brother? It's not even.
It's
It's not even in this fucking state, brother.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you? What are you sprinkling on your cornflakes? Because I got to tell you, I don't think it's sugar, my friend.
No.
Good Lord.
So, with that being said, we do know for a fact that Terry was up in the owner's box with Kevin Adams, and someone did just make a. Where is it? Somebody did just make a comment on one of Brian Colodio's tweets. I'll just say what it was. It was if the Bills lose tomorrow, obviously we hope they don't. Wouldn't be surprised if Pagula fires Adams Monday morning. Honestly, to try and take some of the heat off of the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that, like, you can't lose to the Broncos. That's a rough way to have your season end, especially given how good it's looked this year. My goodness. Obviously, the team's not perfect, but they're playing some pretty fucking dominant football this year. So yeah, if they lose to the Broncos and don't even get to the quote unquote the real fight where they can inevitably match up against the Chiefs and try to get some fucking redemption here.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. Yeah, that would be. It would be hilarious if they sacrificed Kevin Adams to the pit, as it were. But I mean, yeah, you could absolutely see something insane like that happening. But even so, like, the more time we reflect on it, people say, Kevin Adams leaves and, insert suit here gets the job. Day one. What the fuck do you do with this team? Honestly, what do you do? Because it's just,
I honestly don't know.
like, first thing I'm doing is I'm investing in science, and I'm cloning Tyson Kozak 2 more times, putting Lafferty, NAK, and Mallenstein on waivers, and just having a line of three fucking Kozaks for the fourth line. I fucking love Tyson Kozak in the bottom 6 right now. He has been a pleasant surprise. Yeah, he's fucking ready. I don't think he should go back. I think I think NAK is only the only one on a 1-year deal. You don't need to find anybody else. Just keep Kozak up. He's the kind of guy who's gonna fucking put it all out on the ice every single goddamn night. And he does in Rochester too. It's not just because he's got to look with the national team. Like, if you watch any Rochester hockey when Tyson Kozak's on the ice, he's hard to miss. He's fucking everywhere. Yeah. And that's exactly I think that's what they thought the fourth line was going to be when they got these fast guys who hit a lot. And to some extent, Beck Mallenstein has fit that bill, but Lafferty and NAK are kind of me. I couldn't begin to give a shit about either one.
I gotta bring up a few pictures here from Twitter. That's just the biggest laugh.
But yeah, give me more Tyson Kozak. That's my first note as far as depth is concerned.
There you go. That's a good one.
I'm gonna need to print that one out for my sweetie.
Oh, that's a good one. Are you a Sabres lead? Because I want to blow you. Oh, it's so funny. That is too fucking funny. There's a couple other ones too, but we'll get to that in a minute. I just want to get to the chat here. From Ryan Sanders 103. New viewer too. I haven't seen you in the chat yet, Ryan. So thanks for popping on. Welcome. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe on YouTube. Kids Day will forever be cursed. Oh, and fire Adams or whatever at this point. Yeah. I can't believe there. I mean, I would like to know if anybody was at the game, if there were fire Adams chants tonight or sell the team chants. Because
per Fairburn, as they were all leaving the building, there were a couple, sporadic fire Adams chants, and apparently one dude in the 300s was screaming at the top of his lungs for Terry to sell this fucking team. So they're definitely, if you can hear through that glass in the press box, the message is out there. You just have to have your.
Well, I'm pretty sure in the press box it's open. It's not. There's no glass there. Thompson, Cousins, Zucker, all -4 puck management, lack of awareness, defensive coverage, not playing responsible, pathetic performance. From Shane Doyle, the embarrassing butter knives blew it again. These poor kids must have been petrified after witnessing an embarrassing performance. Sickening. Gilbert, last goal looked amateur, deer in headlights. Power play needs to play more urgent. Hold onto pucks. Paterka Cousins gave up puck all night long on power play. More from Mauricio. Duane, I repeat, 22 missed shots on goal. Not playing direct, playing too cute. Too many missed opportunities, including Cousins, Benson, and Paterka. When do we just start allowing other teams to score? Excuse me, guys.
Don't hurt the poor boy.
Oh my god, it's too funny. I'm done with Benson's CHL AHL demotion. He needs more seasoning. Unfortunately, you can't send him down to the AHL. You can't. He would have to pass through waivers, and he would never make it. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Better than gold and silver. 6 straight goals by a visiting team. Another humiliation. Another. Speaking of another new viewer on YouTube. Thanks for popping in. Make sure you subscribe, bud. From the program, Chris Derrick. Let's hope this is the only disappointment this week, and let's go Bandits and let's go Bills. Sabres. The whole organization should be ashamed of themselves for playing like this on Kids Takeover. And the Sabres. I will say this: like on Kids Takeover, they do a good job of some of the things that they do the junior reporting and stuff like that. So hats off to them. But like for fuck's sakes, show up for the kids. Show up and play 3 periods of hockey.
Yeah, man. Like, that's what I keep fucking saying. Like, eventually these kids are going to grow up, and the prospect of going to a Sabres game when they get back home from college, or if they finish school and come back to live here, like they're not going to fucking want to, because like all they're going to have are memories of their parents dragging them here when they were 5 or 10 or teenagers, and the Sabres more likely than not fuck dog. Why do you want to Why you want to spend your hard-earned money on that? That's just, just spend the $40 on those beats just getting ripped,
Yeah. Funny comment here from Josh Stone. I feel like I've been in this chat before. Like it's Groundhog Day. Like seriously, it's like literally. Yeah. We can play the same show and just like somehow insert a different team's name, like voiceover, and people are like, all right,
Add the TikTok voice to change the name of the team that we got pounded by.
Paterka has cratered. Healthy scratch. Top line needs to be changed. It's obvious. Thompson and Cousins are playing poorly, out of position once again. No top quality, top 6 talented players. Shake team up. I don't disagree that this team needs a shake up. The solution is not in this room. But I think we're just stuck with this roster. I think if it didn't happen after 13 in a row, if it didn't happen after them losing 3 in a row again after winning 3 in a row after the fact, if it doesn't happen after today, and it's not going to happen after today, and it's not going to happen, and you're probably not going to see him move until the deadline, and that'll probably be Jason Zucker for a first-round pick. Probably what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's the smart move. Move the only positive veteran presence that you have, or for a first round pick for another 18-year-old that's not going to be a viable piece here for 5 years, or will trade for another Ryan McLeod at some point.
And what the fucking sad thing is, and I told myself for New Year's I'd try and stop dropping as many F-bombs as I do on the show. But like the East is so bad, and it's right there. You can get right back into this race. And I said it the other day. I'm like, you could have went 3-10 on that 13 game stretch. If you yoinked out 3 of those games. I know a couple of them they lost. They were able to get a point, but like if you were able to just get 3 regulation wins out of those 13, like you're either, I think you'd be coming into today, you would have been in a playoff spot or damn right near close to it, depending on which games you picked and which games, it's like, that's how bad it's been. That's how bad the East has been. And no mental toughness, and like what all complaining is strongest shoulders, like. And we're gonna read Lindy's comments. That's the one thing I love about him is he doesn't hide it. He doesn't shy away from how he feels when the team plays like dog shit. Listen, like if you're Lindy, just shrug your shoulders. Like I don't know what to do anymore. Like what do you do? Like the GM won't. The GM is safe. He doesn't have to fear for his job. The owner seems to think the solution is in the room. You don't really have a legitimate top line as good as they can be sometimes. They're nowhere near as talented as some of their team's top lines in the NHL. Your second line shows up maybe 50% of the time. Like Jack Quinn finally has started to find his game, thankfully. But your bottom six, they just don't contribute enough. And the whole narrative of the offseason was being harder to play against. That's not a team that looks very hard to play against. You just give up 6 unanswered goals after being up 2-0. That's not hard to play against.
Yeah, we call that a sandbagging, and rightfully so. That's I'm not an expert, and I'm not an analytics guru, but that's bad. The eye test tells me that's fucking bad. To just completely just cower in fear the second you no longer have a multi-goal lead. Honestly, I think the moment that it all completely fucking fell apart is basically when Jacob Bryson threw the puck into his own goddamn net like a dumbass.
I felt bad. I did feel bad for him, honestly. He tried swatting and he just missed it. He didn't it sucks. I'm not gonna blame Bryson for the game. If anything, Gilbert, I'm
not saying that was the game, but I think that's just like the moment when mentally they were like, okay, tonight's not our night. Clearly the hockey gods are against us or whatever. That's when the switch clicked in their mind that oh, we're fucking losing this game. So we're just, we're done putting forth any semblance of an effort. Not to say that,
this is an unreal stat. Can you look up and see if this is true, Steve? 15 block shots to 1 tonight.
The official NHL box score has 18 block shots to Sabres 1 block shot action. 18 to 1. That's a great ratio. Actually, that's a really good betting ratio, but
18 to 1. One fucking shot in the whole game.
At this point, I'm kind of curious to see who was our savior, who was our man. Let me try to find it. I mean, all right. I'm gonna let you try to guess who it was. And I'll make it a little easy for you. It was not a defenseman. The one lone block shot was not a defenseman on this hockey team whose job it is. No.
Top 6 or bottom 6?
Bottom 6.
Cubs.
No, although he was one of the few players who was not either neutral or negative in plus minus. The answer, folks at home, is Ryan McLeod had the one and only block shot for the club today. I mean, say what you want about Matthias Samuelsson, but at least he's going to go down and block at least 5 shots a game. He's freaking cannon fodder. I hope he feels better soon. Jeez Louise, him and Malenstein. Can't keep doing this 11-7 nonsense for fuck's sake. I know you can't. I know you just don't have any space left to call anybody up, but you gotta. I mean, I feel like they've played Bryson just as an unofficial forward at points.
Yeah,
just stick him on a fucking wing. Just let him run around and tire somebody out. I don't know. Good Lord.
I hate to say it, but Brandon Tanev looks like a young Scott Stapp. I saw your text earlier, Chris. I meant to respond. Lindy in the post game seemed furious and so done with this BS. We're gonna pull up the comments here in a second. These kids will be wondering why their parents, members of their family, are fans of this team. This team's scary. This team's scaring these kids for life. Get out while you still can, because it's too late for us 90s kids.
I think you meant to say scarring these kids for life. But
scarring.
Yeah.
All right, it's me.
Yeah. No, it's fine. No, he spelled it wrong, but it's fine. Little you, little him. It's fine. But yeah, no. Again, agreed. It's going to be hard to see another generation of Sabres fans when, unless you were at that Ryan Miller night when Dylan Cousins scored that sweet overtime goal,
Yeah.
12 seconds against the Islanders. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a truly electric game, and I mean, that Hawks Sabres game, the couple days after Christmas that I went to with my dad as a birthday present for him. That was the last time I felt joy watching this team in person, and I'm not sure if I'm going to feel it again this year. It's a darn shame.
I know this guy, Chris. Adams needs to go, and we need a hockey guy. Adams had 4.5 years, and it's gotten worse. He signed some of these bums to 6, 7, 8-year deals, and now we are stuck with them. What WTF? I just don't. I don't think he's getting fired. I just don't, and not because I don't want him fired. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that he was up there, cozy in that owner's box, knowing that his job was safe. I don't think Terry Pagula wants to keep hiring and firing GMs. That being said, it's so hard. It's so hard to know how responsible Kevin is. And I'm not defending him because he doesn't deserve to be defended. But, like, does he want to make moves? And is he being told no? Did he want to sign more players in the offseason? Or was he being told no? Because that'll be that question in itself will be the one question we'll be asking into next year is, why didn't you spend the money from the Skinner buyout? Why didn't you spend to the cap? Why didn't you? What about this team made you feel confident enough to think that you could be a playoff team and be confident to stand up there in front of the media and say, this is win now. Our goal is to make the playoffs. We want to be harder to play against, blah, blah, blah. Like it has to be Terry. It has to be an internal cap. So is it on Kevin for the moves he has made? Yes, it is. Because he's made the wrong moves, except for Jason Zucker. And, we'll see about Ryan McLeod. But, like, not being able to make a move for a guy like Capo Caco, just, again, that kid that was on that the Rangers picked up on waivers.
Kaliev.
Kaliev, yeah. The American kid.
Or even Dylan Sprong the other day.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same. I was on, when Sprong was available in the offseason, I was on that bandwagon. I was all about that because, he brings a dynamic that the only guy on the team that really does bring, he that fighting intensity is Denny Gilbert. I would have loved like I don't know. We had Rob Gucci. Everyone knows better as Heat Daddy on Twitter, and he was a joke. He had a comment when we had him on in the off season, or was it last year? I can't remember. But he said, you gotta bring a guy like Daniel Sprong in, who's gonna go out, or you guys gonna punch somebody in the face while you guys are going out, and then you go out, and then you go out on a team bender all night and just have a big team bonding, like a big night out, just bonding, just go out and get in one. But like to that point, like role players, but good role players, guys that have shown they've been able to score. Like maybe not so much Daniel Sprong this year, but like I wasn't the only one that wanted Sprong. Like he would fit in well on this team, and he brings a dynamic to them that they don't currently have. Like the only guy really guy that for sure if he's out on the ice or not on the ice, but will go make somebody answer for something is Denny Gilbert right now. That's it. That is the only guy. No, who else? Zach Benson?
Peyton Krebs.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Known enforcer.
You need guys like that on this on a team. That doesn't solve all your issues, but it certainly makes you a little tougher to play against. Makes teams a little more hesitant when they come into your barn. Like hesitant when they play you. We don't have guys like that. We just don't. We're soft. We're mentally weak and we're soft.
Yeah. I mean, at least in my mind, I tend to see a lot of the same way Lindy said over the summer that he sees a lot of similarities between the young potential of, the Sabres in what he saw with the Devils when he was there. But, that team now has some of that tough, imposing presence in guys like Brendan Dillon that they got this summer and Paul Cotter even. Those guys will scrap if need be. And yeah, I mean, if a guy that you're healthy scratching every other game is the only guy that's gonna, lay into somebody, people are gonna keep trying to take runs at guys like Darlene, or keep slashing Tage on the hands, or keep bullying your teenagers because they know there's not going to be any sort of answer for it. And I'm not saying go out there and get a Matt Rempe goon, but get somebody out there who's gonna play the body and make a little space out there for your skilled studs. You gotta have some sort of it is a mental game. You gotta instill a little bit of fear in your opponent. I don't think there's anything about the Buffalo Sabres that scares anybody except for maybe the prospect of being one of those unlucky players that gets traded to the Buffalo Sabres who doesn't have trade protection. It goes, please, no, please, for the love of God. It's like, sorry, dude. You don't really have a say in this. I did it. It's done. Pack your shit. You're going. You're fucking going. Yeah.
Going.
Yeah, sorry, bud. That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
I gotta find another good one. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. This the one? Yes, it is. Hold on. I got one more. Well, two more to show.
More Twitter pictures.
This is good. Oh, yeah, this is good. Let's see what pops up. All right. Hold on. And there it is.
Once again, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids.
Every single the joke just never gets old. I think it's been at least the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Kids Day. They just completely lay an egg. Like I was telling my little brother, because he always puts in a money line, like a nice little $10 wager. I'm like, buddy, you gotta bet Seattle to win. I don't know who the goal scorers are gonna be, but you gotta bet Seattle to win. We've beaten them once in the 6 times we've played them, and they're coming here on Kids Day. It's a guaranteed L for the Sabres.
Oh yeah.
And he made the bet. I think he made $60. He took my insider advice and he made himself a nice little chunk of change, and I'm sure he's going to get himself a couple Sandos from Chick-fil-A and have a nice night. So you're welcome, Mikey.
You're welcome, Mike. And the last one. It's a Sabres news clipping. Sabres collapse on Kids Day. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring up the whole thing here.
I mean, I like that first line. The reeling Buffalo Sabres brought their season to a new low when they caused thousands of tots to riot after another Kids Day collapse, in which they gave up 6 straight goals to fall to the Kraken 6-2. After the game, groups of crying mites in Sabres colors could be seen throwing juice boxes, and security had to be called to rescue Sabretooth as a small group tackled him and were driving Chinese shoe kicks into his furry back. This was something we never thought we would see in Buffalo. The shame of it all.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Poor Sabretooth. Poor kids. Fuck them kids. As Terry Pagula and Kevin Adams would say. I don't know. I think we as fans just gotta stop going to games. Obviously, a game like kid takeover, like it's a family affair. Like, I think that you just gotta make it so embarrassing in that arena, visually, from a TV point of view. It's got to be so embarrassing that ownership has to do something.
Yeah. I don't think it's been a secret that the Sabres are not a big revenue generator for much of their tenure in Terry's pocket. But I mean, it's been my pinned tweet for a month. If you've got seasons, either downgrade or don't renew. Stop buying single season tickets. Stop paying for Spectrum Cable if the only reason you have it is to watch the Sabres. Find a way to watch that game illegally. Stop buying sweaters, because if this team goes far enough into the red, Terry will eventually have no choice but to act to try to get out of that crippling debt.
Yeah.
Essentially the Buffalo Bills are a money printing machine. But even so, if the disparity between the amount of money that the Bills bring in is weighed down by the amount of money that the Sabres cost you to operate, I think you would have no choice but to sell a majority stake to somebody, even if he doesn't sell the team, 100% outright to somebody else. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, just if you look at the two franchises side by side, the main difference is, one, Terry employed people who actually had NFL experience to run the Bills and then let them do their fucking job, But then also they got a freak of nature like Josh Allen, which admittedly the Sabres tried to do when they tried to get tank for Connor McDavid. But then they got Jack Eichel instead, who, again, great player, for all his faults and shit he did and said on his way out the door. Jack Eichel is a great player, but he is not a freak of nature game breaker the way Connor McDavid would be. Yeah. And that is the Josh Allen of hockey in my mind.
Yeah.
But the one thing they can control now is employing human beings who actually have NHL experience to run the team and leave them the fuck alone to make these decisions. And that is the problem. Like every article you read, it's Terry's in constant communication with the GM. Terry's in constant communication with Lindy Ruff. Blah, blah, blah. Like he just keeps employing people that he knows he can force his opinion on, instead of just hiring people who actually know what they're doing and have the stones to tell, hey, buddy, I get that you sign the paychecks, but if you want this team to fucking win, you need to, get out of the kitchen and let me cook. And I think that's ultimately been the problem. And until that fucking changes, this is just the reality we're stuck with. So yeah, you can saddle in and keep paying for seasons like a chump, or you can, spend your money on something else because Terry's not spending his money on this.
I don't know, man. I just it sucks, dude, because it's like almost it's like a toxic relationship with this team.
Yeah,
it is.
It's an abusive effect, baby. I'm gonna be different. I'm so sorry.
Literally every single offseason you think it's gonna be different, and it just never, ever is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they show up to your front door and some sexy outfit, something they got from Victoria's Secret, like Taylor Hall, and that's going to be different this year, and then it just never is.
Take you out to a nice lobster dinner,
or if you're a woman, it's like, I don't know how to make that analogy. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. Gets her a puppy, but that never helps fucking walk.
No, who's the guy? God, Powell, the guy from the new Twisters movie.
Oh,
that's the new heartthrob.
There's a new heartthrob.
Glenn Powell, maybe.
I mean, we could just go with a reference that we can understand.
Ryan
Gosling. Yeah, Ryan Gosling walks on your front porch.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. There you go. Or Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he shows up to your front door with the boombox in the rain and his shirt unbuttoned askew, and it's gonna be different, baby. And then he's making out with your best friend 3 months later. It's the most toxic relationship I've literally ever been a part of. From the movie Twisters, if you feel it, chase it. I love it. It's the most toxic relationship I think I've ever been in. It's so bad. It's so bad, and it's not going to get any better. What's going to make it better? What's going to make Steve? Where is the fucking pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Where is it? Where is the light at the end of the tunnel with this fucking hockey team? Because you look at the prospect pipeline, it's not like we got some fucking golden goose waiting to come up. Like, Constantinius is a nice guy, but he's a project player. Like, it's not like he lit it up in the World Juniors, like to the point where it's like, oh my God, we got this guy here. Like, it's not like we have some guy just we're it's not going to get anybody. Where is the light at the end of the race? Like, where is it? Because you have all the money to spend to make it better this offseason, and you didn't. So how can I sit here and believe that you're going to do that this time around? Does it matter who the fucking GM is at this point? Does it matter?
No.
Because you've been through how many GMs? You've been through how many coaches? You've driven off franchise players. Where is the light at the end of the tunnel? Can anybody tell me when and where it's going to happen? Because I don't have any faith it's going to. Like there's zero chance I am even going to consider any type of season ticket package next season. No shot. And I love this hockey team. I won't go to any more games this year. I mean, unless I get offered the tickets for free, which even then might find it tough.
That's still spending $20 on parking, but
you know what I mean? Look, exactly.
That's still a loss.
There's just no light at the end of the tunnel here. There's none. Like, where do we go from here? Like, I have no faith in this organization to get this right. It's been 13, now going to be 14 years, and you showed me this past off season that you weren't willing to spend money and do what it takes to build a hockey. I get it. Buffalo is a desirable place to play. I get it. It's a train wreck. And I'm sure the Jack Eichel dilemma with his neck probably plays into it, some decisions with some players. It has to. But at the end of the day, with some guys, sometimes money talks, bullshit walks, and you had so much of it to spend, and you spent it on guys like Sam Lafferty and Kubel. You traded a second-round pick for Beck fucking Malenstein.
Yeah, I think they think the light at the end of this tunnel is finally make it to the playoffs and lose in 5 games.
Yeah,
and, that should not be the pinnacle of success that you aspire to, because that's just a fundamental loser fucking mindset. And at the end of the day, I do agree. Constant Hellenius, Anton Wahlberg, guys like that, Sturbeck, like, they seem pretty great, and I'm sure they'll either be, middle 6 players or second pairing defensemen by the end of it all. But yeah, there's no one coming up the pipeline that's, a game breaker. And when any given night you're either getting, all-star caliber Tage Thompson or guy who can barely get a puck into an offensive zone, it's hard to feel confident about that, which I guess brings us back to the final conversation that I don't think there's a single player on this team that you could argue is untouchable. And I think at the end of the day, I think there has to be some kind of seismic change to this room to reinvigorate the players that are here that want to fucking win and send a message to the ones that don't hate to lose. And if that's, betting the farm to trade for a guy like Elias Pettersson, or betting a slightly smaller farm, hopefully, on a guy like JT Miller, because per Friedman, the Canucks are potentially open to moving both of them.
Yeah, but
either one.
I don't think JT Miller. I would love to have JT Miller because I think the stuff we've seen him and Pettersson was what he called them out or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the nature of their.
You look that up real quick. I'm pretty sure he called them out.
But something like that. But yeah, I mean, whatever is going on between them, it's not getting better over time. To the point that the conversation's being had that somebody's got to leave that room. And I mean, if you just look at it from a pure business standpoint, Pettersson's the one that doesn't have any trade protection this year and only this year. JT Miller has the right to say no to anything.
Yeah.
So
where's JT? He's American, but where is he from originally?
Where is he from originally? I couldn't tell you that off the top of my head, but that's the beauty of the internet. I can look it right up. JT Miller is originally from East Palestine, Ohio. Interesting town name. But yeah, he's a Rust Belt boy. 31, year 2 of 7 at, exactly $8 million. But I mean, obviously he's got that trade protect, full no move. So,
I mean, it's close enough to Buffalo, New York, where it could be, he wants to be closer to home, but I really don't think.
Yeah.
If it was like a Tuck situation where he's from Syracuse, like I could see it, maybe he'd lift it, but
no, I mean, it's at the end of the day, that's the real wrinkle there. But then obviously the wrinkle in Elias Pettersson is that he's got a $11.6 million cap hit that very few teams can reasonably take on without some sort of retention or having a dog shit contract going back the other way to Vancouver. But then ultimately the other part of that equation is who actually has anything to give up that Vancouver would be willing to take. Because obviously if they're going to lose their number one center, they need someone that if JT Miller goes up and takes that spot, that could at least slot in at 2C, which is, I think, why the package of Cousins plus, one of our stud defensemen and prospects and picks and whatever keeps coming up because, maybe Cousins can turn it around in a different club with a different structure, better line mates. And I guess just for funsies, let's take a look at in a world where JT Miller stays and Pettersson goes. Dylan Cousins could have wingmates of Nils Hoglander and, Garland if he were to slot in as the 2C in Vancouver.
Yeah. We've talked about it on the show before too. Like Joel Farabee is constantly thrown out there as a name. I know he's not having a good season. He's only got 14 points. But like young kid, I know I don't need any more young kids, but like something other than what we've been fucking watching. Like I like Farabee. I think he's been a good hockey player since he's come into the league. He scored over 15 goals. How many times in his career so far? He's got 2, 3, 4 out of the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 6 seasons, not including this year. He scored 15 goals, 5 out of 6 seasons. Like, I would take that on this hockey team, no doubt. And again, he has no trade protection. Like, if you don't think players want to come to your team, you got to find the guys that had no choice to, like you did Bowen Byram. There's no light at the end of the team. None.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking bleak. But yeah, I mean, while you still have maybe one more year of money to spend, if some of these projections of what we're seeing, I'd be shocked if you want to project a little bit into the future here, I'd be shocked if Peterka or Quinn signed anything other than 2 to 3 year bridge deals. Like neither one of them has quite yet done anything to merit a long-term contract. So, Quinn particularly, and he's got it going right now, but obviously he's been struggling since his, Achilles injury. I can't see either one of those guys breaking the bank on their, bridge deals.
Joey Hatch, so, I don't think this happened. I never heard of any deal between Buffalo and Detroit that got blocked by the league.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard the speculation that Detroit's been scouting Cousins, but then the question is what does Detroit give up for Dylan Cousins? And much like the Eichel conversations, I've seen them also saying the same thing about potentially being in on the Elias Pettersson thing. Is like, yeah, all of our best players like Larkin, Raymond, DeBrincat, Sider, all these guys are completely. It's like, you realize that if they're giving up a franchise player, you might also have to give up a franchise player, correct?
Yeah.
Or a sub-franchise player and a bunch of other bells and whistles to go along with it. That's how a big deal works.
I'm at the point, man, where if this continues down this path, man, I'm ready to just blow it up. Like I'm just so ready, dude. I don't want to do it. Like keep Benson. I mean, keep Tage. Keep UPL. Keep Levi. Darlene and I guess Power because you have no choice, and then just fucking blow the rest up. Trade like I don't know. Like I think keep 5 guys. I know it sounds stupid, and I'm really speaking without thinking right now, but like I'm just so sick of this. There's no end in sight of this. There just isn't.
Yeah, no, it's fucking bleak right now. It's not really a lot of joy here. But you look at all these UFAs and RFAs coming up this summer.
Yep.
Not really a lot to get excited about. You were hoping this was the year both Quinn and Peterka showed that they were, what they're really capable of, and
yeah,
Peterka's dropped off in this last 10 or so. Quinn's picked up in this last 10 or so, but the first 20 he barely looked like an AHL player. Yep. He was borderline unwatchable. Greenway's out of the equation again, so who knows what that middle six would look like if he was still in the equation. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not sure if he's coming back at all this year. If he does, it might not be till like March, and at that point it's basically too late. Mm-hmm. Kulik is week to week. Thankfully he's young, so hopefully he comes back quick, but hate to see that. He just finally seemed to be finding his stride, centering that third line with Benson and such. Even Benson's not showing, not rapidly improving. Like 14 points in 36 games is still pretty pedestrian for what you want him to be. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I think you gotta move somebody out of the room and go. You gotta swing big at some point, if for no other reason, just to send a message throughout the room that, hey, quick reminder, not a single one of you has trade protection this year at all. And the only one that will come next year is Rasmus Dahlin. Tage Thompson has a 5-team no-trade list, as does Alex Tuck, but then literally not a fucking soul in this room is untouchable and unmovable. So you might want to start playing as if your job depends on it, because it might and it should. Yeah. I wish this upcoming draft was better, because then you could make an argument to try to blow it up. I mean, what's it? What is it? Hagens? What was his name? The
Hagens,
USA, yeah, that USA stud. But then that's a question: do we need another small, high skill guy, or do we need to prioritize drafting a different kind of player? How many guys like that do we need?
I think that if you take the first, there's one, maybe two, him and one other guy, I can't remember his name, that are expected to go first overall. But I think James Hagens, he's going to be an incredible hockey player. Any final thoughts, Steve, before we get out of here?
Folks, again, just read my pinned tweet. If you got seasons, please downgrade. Yeah. Stop buying single season. Stop buying single game tickets. Stop paying to watch this team on your, phone or TV or computer. Stop buying jerseys. Like we got to stop bankrolling this, because if he's going to keep making money off some level of money, or just not hemorrhaging money from this franchise, then nothing's going to change. Nothing. And that's really the only power we have as fans. Like, yeah, we can scream fire Kevin. Yeah, we can bring palm trees to the arena, and we can wear Hawaiian shirts, and we can, fire off and Twitter rants all day long. But at the end of the day, this is a business, and what talks is money. So until something fucking changes, keep your money in your pocket. On Hockey is a great website. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Yeah. I don't know. Eat Arby's, as Anthony would say.
Right.
Eat Arby's.
Yeah. And you said it quite well there. I think that fans need to start showing their disdain by just not showing up. That's the way you do it. That's the way I'm going to do it. So that being said, just remember this is brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room. If you have tickets to the Sabres game and decide you don't want to go over to Fatty Beer, have a beer. Try their F Yeah beer. It's a mango flavored one. It's delicious. And let them know that 2 Goalies 1 Mike sent you. And then, of course, Buffalo Logo apparel. When it's your shirts, your hats, your hoodies, they have it all over at Buffalo Logo. At Buffalo Logo Co. on Instagram and Twitter. At Fatty Beer on Instagram and Twitter. I'm always on every episode with this. I always appreciate the community we've built here at 2 Goalies 1 Mike, and I'll hang up and listen. You guys in the chat, I mean, you have a huge game in terms of, obviously the Bills have to do their job and win tomorrow, but right now the Steelers are playing the Ravens right now, and you guys are in here talking to us, which I find shows how much sickos you guys are. And I appreciate it and I love it. And you guys being here always makes this a lot easier to do. So I can't help but say how much I appreciate you all joining the chat, giving us other topics to talk about, bouncing ideas off. Whenever I'm too lazy to look it up myself, I ask you guys to look it up. You do it for me. I appreciate it so much.
Couple clicks for the boys.
Yeah, a couple clicks for the chat. We've talked about before at some point where I think we're gonna do it. I think at the end of the season we're gonna do a follower of the year for the show. So we're probably gonna base that off of how often you're involved in the chat, online on Twitter, other social media platforms. We're gonna do some type of giveaway for sure. But please, just if you enjoyed this content, please make sure that if you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon that so it notifies you when we go live, and like this video. Please like this video on YouTube or anywhere you're watching. But if you're watching on YouTube, please like it on YouTube. Please like it. If you're not watching on YouTube and you want to do us a solid, go to YouTube, watch YouTube, click like. It helps with the algorithm, and we appreciate you so much. So please give us lend us a hand with that and get us noticed a little bit more out there in this world that is called YouTube. And if you're not following us right now, you can find me at Duane S39. You can find producer Steve there at 2G1M Buffalo Rome. You can find Connor Hurls, who's working with the wildfire relief right now, which is why he's not on with us. Obviously, y'all know he lives in LA. At C Hurls 13, and then you can find the show at 2 Goalies 1 Mike. That being said, we'll let you guys enjoy the football game. Go Bills, and
go fucking Bills. Go Bandits.
Bandits, go Bills, and as always, go Sabres.